Hi guys, today I'm going to be chatting about my favorite highlighters for textured skin, and that's not to say that you can't wear any highlighter you want if your skin is textured or you have acne. I know when I had cystic acne, it didn't really stop me from wearing the makeup that I wanted to, although people love to tell me that I was highlighting my pimples. You think I don't know that, but I know that people out there either struggle with textured skin, acne, or they're just looking for a highlighter that kind of has a more natural or lit from within glow, and we're not looking to like blind everyone. So that's exactly what we're going to be chatting about here today. I've got drugstore, I've got high-end, I've got creams, liquids, and powders. And if you enjoy these types of videos, be sure to subscribe. I've got plenty more to come, and I have a whole video about my favorite foundations for textured skin that will be linked above and below, but let's go ahead and get started. So I think the first product that I really fell in love with that was a liquid highlighter that I never thought I would love is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Soft Light Liquid Highlighter. Now, liquid highlighters, cream contouring, that was all made very popular, but also very intense and intimidating on Instagram. And I've said in many videos before, I think it can have an even more natural look than powder, and that is definitely the case with this. Whenever using this in videos, probably a year and a half ago, would always say that this kind of gave you that like I drink all of my water and regularly exercise look, kind of lit from within. So you could put this over powder, you can wear it under powder, you can set it with a powder highlight, but I do feel like it still gives a natural glow even if you were to put some powder on top of it. It comes in a few different shades. This one is in the shade 30, which I believe is my favorite. I don't think I've tried any of the other ones, but I think this is the most suitable for my skin tone. But if you're deeper or lighter, they do have a really beautiful shade range, and it's just like they say, soft, light, really beautiful on the skin, and I love it so much. Moving to a drugstore and powder, the Essence Sunlighters or highlighters, there is the Pure Nude Sunlighter and Pure Nude Highlighter, are amazing. So I always liked the highlighter, but I found it was a little bit too light for my skin tone. They've recently released the Sunlighter, which is super exciting. It's warmer. If you have deeper skin, I feel it to be a little more suitable. And in general, if you're looking for a powder highlight, I find a lot of the time the baked kind of domed shape is going to be a little bit more forgiving than something like the Gel A formula or a more typical kind of powdery formula. They tend to be a little bit softer on the skin. I do find the Sunlighter kind of warmer shade to have a little more wabam than the original, but they are both really good, super affordable, and drugstore and cruelty free, which is awesome. This is a more recent highlighter that I've fallen in love with, and it is very pricey. It is from Kevyn Aucoin, and it is the Glass Glow Face Illuminator? No, just Glass Glow Face. I have it in the shade Spectrum Bronze, which I was a little afraid that this was going to be too deep for my skin tone. There's one that's more like sheer, but it has almost like a leaning pinky purple iridescence, which looked really beautiful on some more fair skinned girls that I saw in Googling it, because I purchased this online through Sephora. But I didn't want to take the chance on that, or maybe it was actually sold out. Maybe I was about to take the chance and it was sold out, so I went with this one instead during a VIP sale. And then I think there's one that's straight up more pink. But either way, this is so beautiful. I have this actually mixed in with my foundation today, but I've worn this on the tops of my cheekbones, and it has this wet look to it. It has no shimmer, no glitter, no chunkiness. It is just like beautiful wet on the skin. And I have actually applied this one over powders as well. Anytime you're going to apply something over a powder, just be very delicate. I tend to tap out with my fingers, and this one and the Makeup Forever one, you have some time to play around with. Actually, yeah, pretty much all of the liquids that I'm mentioning today, you have time to play around with. I find the more intense liquid highlighters are the ones you need to move faster with. But yeah, I've used this as highlighter when I did that big TV shoot, which was super cool back in January. They mixed this in with some moisturizer on my body. I've mixed it in with foundation. So although it is very expensive, it is a full fluid ounce, so it's the full size of a foundation. And if you do really love it and you're kind of only using it on your cheekbones and in small bits and pieces here and there, it will last you quite a while. One of my favorite highlighters of all time, if you can't tell by the painter's tape, that is holding this sucker together, along with the fact that I've completely hit pan over on this side. This is the Fenty Beauty highlighter in Mean Money Hustla Baby. At a glance, when I purchased this, I bought this day one when Fenty launched. I wasn't sure if this was going to be the shade for me, but I've tried some other ones and this is still my favorite. Again, highlighters, bronzers, they can look a little they can be a little deceptive in the pan. It can be kind of hard to tell sometimes what's going to translate on your face. So if you can try it in store or something, that's always helpful. Or like YouTube reviews, that's my favorite. But the satin side on this is so good. And the reason that I've used this so much is I think it is so unique to have the satin side and the kind of more beaming side. And you'll see I've used the satin more. So I would use the satin kind of like in the typical place. So here, 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 down the nose, maybe the bridge of the nose, chin and forehead, because it is that satin formula. And then I would kind of just go in on the tops of my cheekbones with the other shade. And I loved to travel with this because it gave me so many options, but it's not bulky, and I just think it is so good. And I can't speak to the entire line of the Fenty kind of dual highlighters if they're all as good, because I've tried another one and the kind of more beaming side had a little bit of glitter in there, but both sides are good. The satin side is obviously going to be more friendly, but if you tend to have breakouts or something and you're like, you know, I just want an option for when my skin is breaking out, or you want to have that option to kind of spot highlight in different intensities, I just think that this is so good. This is a super subtle one. I actually am not totally sure what the intended purpose of this is. Okay, so this is supposed to be, instead of liquid foundation, you can add this like all over your face, and it has different opacities. This one is in the opacity 8%. It's the Nioid Photography Fluid. So Nioid, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is like kind of under the Decium brands is where you purchase it from. So it's on the more affordable side for sure. And I've used this in a video, and it again is just so subtle. It doesn't add like, it adds a glow to your skin, but not a shine or a shimmer. Again, this would be another really good product to mix into a foundation, to wear on its own, or even mix into a liquid, not into a liquid bronzer, into a moisturizer for kind of like, not even a tinted moisturizer, but just a little something on your skin. And I've never heard anybody mention this before, so I thought I would point it out. Now this is technically not available, but I mention it just in case you're at your MAC store or curious to test out some other ones. This is a Mineralized Skinfinish. So they've got a bunch of different skin finishes at MAC. Some are more glowy, some are more subtle, and this one is from the Taraji P. Henson collection a few years ago. So maybe you might come across this at a CCO or an outlet or something, but I really love this. It's super subtle. In the swatches, it has a bit of a pinkness to it, but I don't feel like that translates too much on the cheeks, and I don't want to go into depth because it's not like you can easily go pick it up, but if you happen to see it, or if you wanted to pick up something from MAC, some of the Mineralized Skin finishes are really nice and soft. Let me know down below if you have any recommendations for MAC or any highlighters, of course, because I'm not as well versed, but yeah, I really do love this one. And I think I've said that about all of them. That's why they're my favorites. That's what this video is about. Okay, another drugstore one. This is technically, I think, yeah, it's a primer. So this is the Catrice Light Correcting Serum Primer. I will say, like it says on the bottle, like on the front, like shake before use, it can kind of get weird and separate. And if you tend to like have a lot of makeup and leave it sitting in a drawer, it can get a little glumpy, but comes in a few different shades. I have the more gold shade here in Sunlight. There's a more pink one as well. This, again, a lot of these are very multi-purpose products depending on what you want, but this is said to be a primer. You could mix it in with a foundation, but it also acts really beautifully as kind of like a liquid highlighter on the tops of the cheekbones. If you're in Canada, Catrice is now available at Shoppers Drug Mart, both in store and online, which is super exciting to have more beauty brands to purchase. But yeah, this is really, really subtle. So something to keep in mind if you're only looking at things that are labeled as highlighters, to kind of look outside of the highlighter realm, because there's some good things out there that aren't necessarily labeled that way but can still act as a highlight. This next one is a pretty interesting product. I feel like when it launched, a lot of people were very, very confused as to what it was supposed to be and do. I think people thought it was a foundation and they were like, why does it have 0% coverage? But this is the Charlotte Tilbury oh, excuse. Wish I had a raspy voice, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. I like the shade 5. I think I could probably get away with the shade 4 as well. There's I think there's like 7 shades in here. Basically, again, I'm kind of repeating myself, and that happens with these types of videos. Like, I like all of these products for the same reason. They're multi-purpose. They give you a nice glow. You can wear it under foundation. You can wear it over foundation. But I do think that this is really nice. I've used this in combination with their foundation, and it comes with like a doe foot applicator, so I'll kind of just draw it on my face, maybe more purposefully in the kind of highlighty areas, or just kind of all over, and then go in a little more lightly with whatever foundation that I'm using, and it just adds that nice glow. And I've tried so much from Charlotte Tilbury, and I gotta say, I've really been impressed with pretty much everything I've tried. I think they do a really good job making products that just look really good on the skin, and this is one of them. So if you saw this and thought it was a foundation, it's not, but it's a great accompaniment to any foundation. Now this next one I don't have as much experience with because I feel like it's not that good on my skin tone. Let me try it out again. This is the Laura Mercier French Vanilla Highlight. Do they have more shades of these? I think they might. This is a mini I got in a holiday kit. I pointed out because I know it's good for more fair skin tones. And similar to the Essence, this is the Inglot 4SS brush, by the way. Similar to the Essence, it's that kind of like domed baked formula. So it's gonna be, there's like no shimmer in here. It looks a lot like a MAC Mineralized Skinfinish as well. If you have like a skin tone similar to mine and you've picked this up in a deeper shade, because I think they do exist in deeper shades, let me know. But if you do have a more fair skin type, I'm pretty sure Emily Noel really likes this, and if Emily Noel likes it, then I mean, I have not much more to say. I'm sure she's done a great job reviewing it, but it's a really good option. And then lastly, I have one more kind of cream stick option. This is the Nudies All Over Face Color. So they've got a bunch of different all over face colors. Some act as blushes, some act as more cream bronzers. This one is a highlighter. It's from Nude Sticks, which is a brand that I love. This one is in the shade Hey Honey, and I would say this one is interesting because although it's in a stick format, I feel like on the skin, it's very subtle and gives this kind of wet look. If you're not super used to using stick products like this, just go easy so that you don't disturb your foundation. I don't think like there's some products that like just rip your foundation to shreds and don't do a good job and drag on your face, and not the case with this, but just something to be mindful of. You could also put it on a sponge or put it on a brush or a stippling brush and kind of put it on your cheekbones, but I think that this one is really pretty and a nice convenient packaging. It's not a liquid, which I know some people don't like. It does come with a brush, which I don't love. Maybe if you're using like a tinted moisturizer or something. I just feel like the brush is very, very dense. I prefer to use my fingers, but I do love the product itself. So those are all of my favorite highlighters that I feel like give a gorgeous glow without chunkiness, without a lot of texture, and are very friendly to more textured skin, acne prone skin, or if you're just the kind of person that are like, you know what, I don't want to look like I have a stripe of glitter on my face, which is definitely my preference too. There's some highlighters that I love that are super, super glowy, but I never, ever, ever want glitter to be in there. So let me know down below what your favorites are. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!